Hello everybody and welcome back to Costume Quest 2. In the last video we left off in the streets of the future Auburn Pines where the adults Lucy and Everett have been kidnapped by Dr. White. We met up with his daughter Haley and we are actually parked right in front of their house. And I've taken care of some of the enemies that have been patrolling on the streets, just to get rid of them. But as you can see here, we actually don't have a ton of houses to visit. We have 7 houses in total, and we are going to be getting a new costume in this area as well. So we're going to talk to the person that's standing in front of Lucy and Everett's house just to start out with here. What are you doing walking around in a costume like that? Haven't you seen those dental drones? They'll chomp you as soon as look at you? I think that's a typo. That's exactly why we need costumes. What are you doing on Lucy and Everett's lawn? I just had a combat lesson with Corvus. I'm cooling down out here. It was pretty intense. You know, I used to have a costume too, but I had to stash it because it was getting too hot around here. Now these drones are sniffing around where I stashed the pieces and I can't get to them. Corvus taught me a lot of moves, but I'm just one kid. I can't take that many drones on my own. But you guys have numbers. Maybe you could take them out. You're welcome to borrow my costume if you can. A new costume? Sign us up. I drew up this pattern so I could remember how to put it together again. Thanks, Naomi. We'll take good care of it. No probs. It's for the cause. Take care of yourself, kid. Yeah, so we're gonna get a wizard costume. So from their house, I'm just gonna head up the street. There was a dental drone patrolling around here, but I took care of it. And what I'm gonna do is switch to the pterodactyl and then move this leaf pile. In this area, you should get the achievement to blow away a bunch of leaf piles. I think you need to clear out 10 for the achievement. We're going to be doing a lot of costume swapping because there's going to be a lot of use for a few different costumes and their unique talents. So we fought one of these snails before. These guys typically just guard chests throughout the game here and there. They're nothing special. But we definitely want what's in that chest, so hopefully we can take this guy out quickly. And when we hit level 6, we should be getting a new move from Corvus as well, which is pretty exciting. Should be able to kill this guy at the end of our turn here. Jefferson's ability really helped us out in the beginning. So we got lots of experience, lots of candy, and a unique card out of that battle, which is great. And then this chest has our first piece of our wizard costume, so you want to go and grab that. And then from here we're just going to hit all of the houses. Remembering, of course, that we aren't actually getting candy from trick-or-treating in this area. What we're doing is we're trying to get illegal stashes of candy to bring back to Sadie in the sewers. So there are only 3 houses in this little area here, so 2 out of 3 had adults. My educated guess is that the next house is going to have a monster. But we might as well cross it off our list anyways. Just to say that we've visited. And we get to go back to fighting Grubbins, which is a callback to the first game. So we're going to be fighting Grubbins and Trollbogs. These enemies here, the guards, there's nothing particularly special about them. These are just your basic average grunts. And I don't know why their attacks are so delayed. You can see it actually took quite a while for them to target Haley and attack her. They have to like pump themselves up or psych themselves up or something, I don't really know. And my block didn't register there, which was unusual. Oh, in terms of cards, I don't really think there's anything I need to use for this fight. One of our heroes might go down, but if that happens, I'm honestly not too terribly worried about it. There is a fountain in this area, so I'll just visit the fountain after this fight and rest up before moving on to our next set of houses. And if you are having troubles in this area, if you're taking too much damage, if you're finding that your heroes are going down, then do keep in mind, of course, that you do have the clown on standby. You can always bring it back into battle and use it to heal. But we were able to take out all three houses surrounded by Lucy and Everett's house. And then if you just kind of head west, if we're looking at the map, if we just head past the cul-de-sac onto our next set of 4 houses, we're going to pass the old park on the way. There's a kid here, and she's looking for a Rice Creepies card, and we actually have one, but we do not have the double for her. So once we find an extra one, we can bring it back to her. There is one of our hide-and-seek children hiding in the park, dressed as Abe Lincoln, I think. Here's our fountain. And unfortunately now we're reaching a point where our candy pail that we have has a limit of about 3,000 candies. So even if you don't want to spend money on some of the costume upgrades, I would recommend checking in on Shady periodically, because we do have a few opportunities to get some more candy, and you don't want that stuff to go to waste. So if I kind of wedge myself in between the girl here and these trash cans and I just kind of head this way, I'll go past what looks to be our house, honestly. I think this is our old house. This is where we started the game in the first game. I'm not sure. I think it's our house though. But anyways, these 2 houses are boarded up, so we can't do any trick-or-treating. We're not too worried about those houses. I am gonna skip that house. What I'm looking for... Where is it? I'm looking for a ramp. It's over here, so my mistake. You don't actually need to come down here for anything. It's a little kind of just actually right across the way from where the park entrance is. There is a dental drone that's normally patrolling around here, but I took care of him. So you're gonna want to hit the ramp here. If you want to, you can go ahead and just get some spare pieces of candy by whacking everything. Glide over the ramps to get across them. And in this yard is a chest with cotton balls, which is the second part of our new wizard costume. And if you hit this ramp, this is where you'll come out onto the street that I accidentally turned onto. But if you keep going, there's a few more ramps and some more loose stray candy for you to grab if you want. And then eventually we'll get to the end of the road and there's another ramp here. Which kind of just brings us right out into the front of Lucy and Everett's house, which is great. We should be able to hit the final 4 houses. There isn't as much fighting in this area as there was previously in the Bayou and French Quarter area, just because there are not nearly as many houses to trick-or-treat at. Or I guess to look for bootleg candy is more of an apt description. And then it's been nice because I can do some of the fights off screen. I can kind of clean up the streets on my own time. And then it's nice too because the fountain in this area is sort of wedged in between the 2 blocks of houses. So you can always go back to the fountain when you need it. And of course these are all the same type of enemy, which doesn't help because it doesn't allow us to really do a lot of damage with all 3 of our characters. Really, it's only the pterodactyls really particularly strong against these guys. But if I wanted to, I could switch costumes, of course. I forget what the clown is strong against. I might check after this just to see, because he might be a better choice when we're fighting Grubbins. So we got ourselves a unique card out of that battle. Might as well go and hit the fountain here. We are also going to want to talk to this adult here in the park, but I'm ignoring it for now because I need a bigger candy pail or I need to spend some of my candy. And I was wrong. The clown is actually weak against the monster type enemies. So even though the pterodactyl is kind of the strongest one against monsters, and it's the only one that's strong against monsters, I think keeping in the pterodactyl of Jefferson and the superhero are probably some good choices because you have a bit of variety. Or if you want to, what you could do is you could swap out the superhero with the clown to get yourself some healing because they're both strong against the same type of enemy. Alright. We should only have a few more houses to go. I think one is probably going to have a fight and one is probably going to have some candy. You will get a notification once you have gotten all of the bootleg candy from the houses. So if you haven't gotten the notification, you haven't gotten it all yet, so that pretty much tells me and guarantees me that the next house is going to be candy. And I think these guys here are some new enemies. We've got ourselves 2 conjurers and an operative. The operative can buff himself kind of goes into like a berserk type of a mode where he'll do more damage. And the conjurers do some sort of magic, but I don't remember if they heal or not, so I guess we're gonna find out. Nope, just does a lot of damage there with a long-ranged magic attack. And it doesn't give you the opportunity to block that one for some reason. So I think I want to get rid of the operative, but I'll let the superhero attack. Just because the pterodactyl will do more damage against that conjurer. Yeah, very strange that it doesn't let you dodge that. I guess because it actually hits all three of your characters. Which is potentially pretty dangerous because blocking is a huge aspect of battle. But it's nothing that we can't handle, you just have to play it strategically. There's a wandering Trobog in the street. I'm gonna kind of ignore him, I think. And then we'll get our last candy delivery. So yes, when you get the last bit of candy, Reynold will tell us that we need to go back to Sadie and return. But we still have not gotten our costume. So I'm gonna go heal up because I need to take care of that dental drone. Because I need to kind of go... Actually, I can go around it. I would recommend fighting it. I might actually go back and fight it off screen. But you will need to get around that dental drone. There's a pinata in this yard here for us to destroy. And then in this chest we have our final material for our wizard costume, which is the glow stick. So if we have a look at our map, we are still missing one secret in this area, but we have all three of our costume pieces, and after you have completed the wizard costume, you can go back to Sadie. After you have all of your candy deliveries and you've made all your candy deliveries, you can go back to her. And I do believe the last secret is actually this pinata in this yard here that I just didn't destroy earlier. After our last fight, you could just move the leaf pile. You can see that our candy pail is almost completely full, so this is a really good time to leave and to go back to the sewers. So let's check out what Shady has. He has a few cards. I suppose I can just clean him out of his cards for now. And I may as well also buy the clown upgrade. I don't really use the clown all that much anymore after we get out of the bayou, but it may come in handy, and if you are going for 100% completion, you will want to upgrade all of your costumes because there is an achievement for doing so. Alright. So let's talk to Sadie here. And then she's going to tell us about Blob. He runs the speakeasy on the east side of the city. He knows more about the underground tunnels. He can tell you how to get into the compound. The password for the east side speakeasy is Mice Crispy Treats. Good luck finding Lucy and Everett. Thanks, Sadie. We won't forget this. Excellent. So we also now have a quest to go and see Corvus now that we've hit level 6. And just a couple of interesting things that I found in the bar before we leave. This kid here, Travis, I do believe was the kid in the first costume quest who was racing us in the street after we got our robot costume. He was kind of the bully of the street, so he's grown up and realized that he used to be a real jerk. And then, of course, this adult who we met as a child in the devil horns here is actually Bub, who was the kid that we had the fiddle / clown horn off with, and he had given us the pattern for our pterodactyl costume. He was sitting on that stump in between the bayou and the French Quarter. I really like things like that, just little details. It's kind of like having Monty here in the sewers. I just think it's really neat that they kind of incorporate some old characters into new environments, and I really like that. So there are a few things that we need to do in our old Auburn Pines neighborhood. We need to go speak to Corvus, and there are 2 quests that I had left. But what I'll probably do is I will do that on a return trip. I think what I'd rather do is sort of just move on for now. So I'm going to leave it right here in the sewers, and from here we will figure out what it is that we need to do next. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.